Thank you. Graduates, please be seated. Faculty, graduates, and honored guests, welcome to the 2026 Diploma ceremony for the Department of Applied and Computational Mathematics and Statistics at the University of Notre Dame. Around campus, we're lovingly called ACMS. My name is Jonathan Honstein. I'm the Robert and Sarah Lumpkins Collegiate Professor and Department Chair of ACMS. I'd like to recognize all the faculty who are in attendance. So if you are faculty from ACMS, please stand up and I will recognize you. You too. So in the back, we have Tiffany Tang, Assistant Professor in ACMS and Research Advisor of Iris Che. Over on the side, we have Dr. Katie Adamo, Assistant Teaching Professor and Research Advisor of Tommy Clark. Next to her is Dr. Roya Giazedin, Professor of the Practice, and one of the 3 winners this year of the Joyce Award for Excellence in Teaching. Congratulations. Joining me up front is our faculty speaker, Dr. Victoria Woodard, Associate Teaching Professor who just completed her first year as the Director of Undergraduate Studies. And finally, our name reader is Dr. Alan Hubner, Teaching Professor, and he was the Director of Undergraduate Studies during the first 3 years of your time here at Notre Dame. Thank you all for joining us. So our graduation ceremony today is in Jordan Hall. This is a fitting location here at Notre Dame because this is our largest building devoted to just undergraduate education. So everything that you see outside is all for undergraduate education and lab space. This building opened 20 years ago. And you might have noticed in the Galleria that the display cases are undergoing renovation for the first time in 20 years. One thing that I can predict with certainty is that over the next 20 years, science and scientific knowledge will continue to change and we'll have to update the display cases again. Nonetheless, the tools, the techniques, the applications, they'll continue to evolve over the next 20 years. But my hope is that the foundations that you learned in applied and computational mathematics and statistics are long-lasting, provide you the ability to be resilient and adaptable in our ever-changing world. My hope is that you'll use your experience and knowledge gained here at the University of Notre Dame to not only answer the question, what can we do, but also think about what should we do. Use your Notre Dame education to be a powerful force for good as you continue your life's journey after graduation. Let me close with an Irish blessing. May your blessings outnumber the shamrocks that grow, and may trouble avoid you wherever you go. Now it's my pleasure to introduce Dr. Victoria Woodard, who will deliver the faculty remarks.
Thank you, Dr. Hohenstein. Family, friends, faculty, and graduates, thank you for being here today as we celebrate these absolutely remarkable students. I've had the privilege of teaching some of these students in class, advising many of them, and mentoring them. I'm so proud of the people that they've become over the past 4 years. I've been at Notre Dame for 8 years, but this was my first year serving as the undergraduate director for ACMS. One of the things that I loved most about this role is that I get to spend more time walking alongside students during important moments of their lives, not just watching their progression academically, but experiencing it with them. Now, according to the program, I'm asked to provide faculty remarks. I didn't know what that exactly meant, so just bear with me. Any student that has taken one of my classes knows that I'm not especially committed to the idea of just people learning by sitting quietly and having somebody talk at them for 50 minutes. Don't worry, I'm not up here for 50 minutes. Some people learn visually, some people learn auditorily. Personally, I've always preferred kinesthetic learning, or learning by doing. So graduates, before we officially let you leave here today, I have one final in-class activity for you. And family, in-class activities can sometimes go wrong, so hopefully this goes flawlessly, but just be mindful. Okay. Graduates, you've all been given cards, and I'm going to ask you 3 questions. When I do, I want you to hold up the card that best answers the question. Are you guys ready? Okay. First question. What do we call a process in computing that solves a difficult problem through a sequence of carefully designed steps? If you can't see in the back, the correct answer is algorithm, although you probably see something else. You can go ahead and put those down. An algorithm is a step-by-step method for working through complexity towards a solution. And I think that idea shows up far beyond mathematics. Very few meaningful things in life unfold all at once. Careers, relationships, purpose, faith, becoming the person who you're called to be. Most of those things are formed gradually, step by step, for those of you in the back, often without seeing the full path ahead of you. So graduates, one of the things I hope you remember is that progress does not require having your entire life figured out immediately. Sometimes the next step is enough. Second question, what area of mathematics studies relationships, connections, and how things are linked together? Good. The correct answer for those of you in the back is graph theory. You can go ahead and put them down. In mathematics and computing, graph theory studies connections, how individual points become something larger when they're linked together. Connected systems are strong. Isolated nodes are fragile. And there's something deeply human about this idea. We are not built to exist in isolation. Not your professors, your friends, your family, and certainly not you. The connections you've built here, friendships, mentors, classmates, teammates, your communities, these relationships matter far more than most of you probably realize in the moment. And long after you forget the specific formulas or programming languages, you will remember the people who were here together with you when you were learning them. Third question, last question. My field. In statistics, what do we call a collection of related probability distributions that share common characteristics and parameters? Excellent. For those of you that couldn't see in the back, the correct answer is family. A probability distribution describes patterns, how variation can take many different forms while still belonging to the same underlying structure. And a family of distributions is a collection that shares that deeper connection, even as the individual expressions differ. And I think people are not so different from that. Different individuals carry different strengths, different stories, and different paths. And yet they're held together by something deeper. From the people who form, support, challenge, and sustain them over time, their families. As I mentioned earlier, I started Notre Dame 8 years ago, and shortly after arriving, I continued a small tradition of my own. I buy my father a sweatshirt from every institution where I've either gone to school or where I've worked. It lets the world know where his child spends some of her time. His says, "Notre Dame, Dad." He wears it proudly all winter long, and even though neither he nor I graduated from Notre Dame, he does consider himself to be part of the Notre Dame family. And I think that is true for many of you here today. If you're sitting in this room supporting a graduate, then you are part of this family as well. So thank you, family. To close, I asked some of our graduates what their favorite part of ACMS was. The common theme among the responses was that they loved the interdisciplinary nature of the degree. It works so well in so many other places. Biology, economics, finance, computer science, the list goes on and on. But let me add one more place that ACMS works really well: life. ACMS has shown us all that the most meaningful things in life are formed gradually, connected deeply, and sustained together. Step by step, We were together. Thank you, family. Congratulations, graduates, and go Irish. Students, at this time, I ask you to stand and prepare to receive your diplomas. Next, I would like to ask Dr. Alan Hubner to come forward to read the names of the graduates.
Kian Scott Bogenstos. Vincent William Calzante. Iris Minsa Che. Thomas William Clark. Carla Mariana de la Garza. Ishan Pandey Day. Tori Lane DiStefano. Daniel James Donegan. Nathan Gamil Fanous. Vincent Anthony Fiorino. Caitlin Daniela Garcia. Christine Marie Ruby. Caroline Marguerite Isom. Ryan John Kelly. Andrew James Lochran. Andrew Scott Mangini. Bridget Devine Milligan. Maria Rose O'Day. Grace Elizabeth Organ. Thomas Joseph Rotatori. Kevin Lawrence Rybinski. Thomas Mitchell Rybinski. Ava Grace Schwan. Peter Jonathan Summers. Isabel Jane Thompson. At this time, I would like to invite any ACMS supplementary majors and scientific computing minors to stand and be recognized. Now, it is my pleasure to introduce the ACMS Class of 2026 student speaker, Vincent Fiorino.
Thank you, Professor Hubner, and hi, everyone. First, I just want to say congratulations, ACMS Class of 2026. We did it. It truly is an honor to present you all, such a talented and gifted cohort, who I'm lucky to call my friends and colleagues. These past 4 years have been marked by us struggling, learning, and growing. For some of us, that struggle and growth came from experiencing South Bend winters for the first time. For others, myself included, it was figuring out how exactly laundry worked. And for all of us, it was learning how to make the most of our time here while balancing homework, classwork, extracurriculars, friends, and more. For every night out having fun, there's a night in the math bunker, fueled by excessive caffeine, as we attempted to decipher what we were learning in linear algebra. For every exciting football weekend, there was a weekend spent debugging and praying for our code to work. Of course, we wouldn't have been able to get this far without some help. We owe a big thanks to the ACMS department and faculty, who have taught us both as professors in the classroom and as mentors in our journeys. They introduced many of us to our first programming languages and guided us through the processes of mathematical research. However, our professors weren't the only ones helping us navigate these past 4 years. Behind every graduate here is a family, parent, and guardians who answered our late-night phone calls, where we stressed about the upcoming math methods exam, who gave us words of encouragement when it felt like our lives were falling apart, and who, most importantly, never gave up on us. And while they supported us every step of the way, they were also struggling quite a bit themselves. From trying to remember our acronym ACMS, even more challenging, what it stands for, and confusingly asking us time and time again what exactly it is that our major does. But I think the confusion about what we study actually shows one of the strengths of an ACMS degree. So what does an applied and computational mathematics and statistics degree do? Well, we're the biologists, using statistics to model and optimize medical treatments. We're the analysts who work to understand the fluctuations of the economy. We're the mathematicians who discover and understand the formulas that describe our universe, and I could go on and on. To quote Galileo, the book of nature is written in the language of mathematics, and in ACMS, we learn not only how to read that book, but to add to it. I truly believe ACMS gives you the tool set to do anything and supplement any path. We can see that versatility here today in the students, many of us with secondary majors and minors. And additionally, using my ACMS skills, I counted 66 other students not here today who paired their primary major, which ranged from finance to Department of Liberal Studies, with a supplementary degree in ACMS, as they too saw the opportunities that an ACMS degree offers. I have my own story of ACMS. My first year here at Notre Dame, I was a biology student until I inevitably ran into the realization that I'm sure many of you have had at some point, that I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do with myself. That's when a friend introduced me to ACMS and the countless and endless possibilities it offers, leading me to switch over my sophomore year. In doing so, I found myself in a welcoming community that helped me explore so many different fields, from consulting, data science, work with the US Navy, until I eventually found my own passion for mathematical research. Perhaps some of you had similar journeys to mine, and perhaps some of you knew from the start where you were heading. But regardless, I want to offer you a piece of advice that I find incredibly valuable. That is, to always explore. Our time of ACMS gave us numerous opportunities to do just that. In our statistical methods class, each of us took on a project answering questions using data ranging from predicting wine quality to modeling athletic performance. For some, that project cemented a love for statistics, and for others, maybe not so much. But that's the beautiful part. Exploration can seem scary. You take a risk going into the unknown, trying something new, and unsure whether you'll end up loving it or hating it. However, both outcomes teach us. We either discover a new passion or something we know to avoid in the future. Either way, we learn more about ourselves. And this exploration wasn't just in the classroom. We all explored who we were during our 4 years here, developing our beliefs, interests, and what we care about. And although our time under the dome is coming to an end, that doesn't mean our time to explore ends with graduation. Rather, it's quite the opposite. It's only the beginning. So please, keep exploring. Find what excites you and also what you can't stand. Do that, and I can promise you will never look back with regret. This weekend closes off a major chapter of our lives. The University of Notre Dame doesn't just teach, it transforms. We leave here not just knowing how to take partial derivatives, but how to live a full and fruitful life. And importantly, all this wasn't just given to us. We had to work for and earn it. A lot of sweat and a lot of tears were needed to reach this point. Notre Dame didn't make it easy. And it's through the shared effort you realize how incredible those around you are. When someone asks me to describe what it's like to go to Notre Dame, I'd say it's humbling. Every person I've met here, I find myself in awe of them, with their incredible service, achievements, research, and effort they do on a daily basis. So no matter what, and don't you forget this, ACMS class of 2026, and I'll say it quite bluntly, you all are awesome. So with that, I wish you all the best. Thank you, God bless, and go Irish.
All right, congratulations, graduates. So the last order of business is we'll close with the playing of our alma mater, Notre Dame, our mother. So please stand. So this concludes our ceremony. One last thing for the graduates, please stay seated so we can get a group picture. We invite all the guests to join us out in the Galleria for a reception afterwards. And don't forget to pick up your class gift as you guys enter. So one last time, congratulations.